Okay, so we're going to talk range and interquartile range. So these are both measures of spread. We've got three different ones: range, interquartile range, which is what our IQR stands for, and standard deviation. Running low on ink. Okay, we'll cover standard deviation in another video, but basically range and interquartile range are our two measures of spread that we're going to look at today. Range, let's just start there. Range is something I'm sure you'll remember from younger grades. It uses this formula. So it's the maximum data minus the minimum data. Now, because just like the mean, you're actually using the value of the data. So if you've got, you know, your highest value is 20 and your lowest value is 1, so your range is going to be 19. Now the problem with this is because you're actually adding value, you're taking one from the other. If you have an outlier and it only takes one, really high or really low, it then takes a data set from being like this to like this, or from like this to like this. It basically increases the range exponentially. It's ridiculous. So if you have outliers, range is really not a good measure of spread. So in that case, or if you want a little more detail, a little more, you know, going into, you can look at interquartile range. Now interquartile range is basically looking at the spread of data. So if I've got my data spread here, this would be the range, okay, highest to lowest. When it comes to interquartile range, what we're actually doing is we're looking at the median as the middle of the data, and then we're looking at the quartiles on either side. So this part here, 50%, and this is just 25% on either side, quarters, okay, middle spread, okay, and the 25% on either side. This one we call quartile 1, this one we call quartile 3, and the median is quartile 2. So this is also referred to as the lower quartile, and this is the upper quartile, quartile 3. So what we can see across here is we can start to see where the bulk of the data sits within those quartiles, which is a bit more information than just how large the spread is. So in order to calculate the interquartile range, it's pretty simple. The first thing you're going to do is find the median, okay? So step 1, find the median so that we have Q2. So median position, which we've done before, is n plus 1 over 2. So let me give you a bunch of data. Over here, we'll do it. 1, 3, 5, 6, 8. 16, 18 and 20. There we go. Bunch of data. Okay. So if I count them all up, I'm going to find that there are 11. 11 plus 1 is 12. 12 divided by 2 is 6. So my median is the 6th data. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Therefore, my median, sorry, I should actually write, is 9. Okay, next I'm going to find the quartiles. So in order to find the quartiles, there's two different ones that we use. So Q1 for an odd data set, so an odd number, which is what we've got 11, we're going to use n plus 1 divided by 4, okay? If we have an even data set, what we're going to do is n plus 2 divided by 4. Now, the reason is this. If you've got if you've got, okay, let me put up a set of data. Let me find my data. Okay, so if you've got 2, 4, 5, 8, 9, 11, and 13. Okay. And then I'll do 2, 4, 5, 8, 9, 11, 13, and 15. Yeah? Okay, so here's my two data sets. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, my odd. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, my even. Okay, so in an odd data set, even just looking, we can go like this, straight down. Our median for an odd is always going to be an actual data set. So when we do that, when we work out our quartiles, what we're doing is we're actually working out the center of this, not including the median, and the center of this for Q3, not including the median. Okay? When we have an even data set, as you can see as we go down, the median is actually going to fall in between here. It's not going to be an actual data, it's going to be between two. So Q1 is going to be the center of all of the data on this side, on the left of the median, and Q3 will be the middle of all of the data on the right-hand side. Hence the reason we have two different formulas. Okay, so if I actually work out, and then my Q1, so I have an odd number, so I'm just going to do n plus 1 over 4. So my n, as I worked out before, is 11. So over 4. So that's 12 over 4, which is going to give me 3. That means my Q1 position is the third. So Q1 is 5. Now my Q3 is going to equal the maximum minus the Q1 position. So my Q1 position, I should actually have written position, I got the third, so that's going to be, max is 20, and then I'm going to go backwards 5, sorry, not 5, it was 3 places. Okay, so this is place 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so just like we do here, if we find it's a third data set, 1, 2, 3, it's also Q3 is going to be the third from the other end. Okay, that's the easiest way to remember. So Q3 is 16. Okay, and so last of all, I'm going to show you what we call, running out of room, the 5-number summary. And this is something you need to be able to do from this data each time. So 5-number summary just puts together all of what we've been doing here except for simple range. Okay, so 5-number summary. We have minimum, then we have Q1, then we have Q2 or median, then we have Q3 and max. They are our 5 numbers. And what we do is whenever we work out IQR, we finish with a 5-number summary. So the minimum data is 1, the maximum data is 20. I worked out my median as 9, my Q1 was 5, and my Q3, 16. Here we go, my 5-number summary. Okay, so this tells me a lot, and if I was able to then use this to graph out the spread of my data, I'd be able to start having a real look at where the bulk of my data lay. So make sure that you feel comfortable with range and IQR, particularly interquartile range, and being able to put together your 5-number summary.